Hi, I'm Elvie from Meadowlark Log Homes. This is my father, Ora, and we're here together. We're standing in front of Mom and Dad's house. This is a family homestead, and we want to talk about what happened here in the winter of 2019-2020. I guess it was the winter of 2020. I forget the exact date, but it caught fire while they were asleep in their bed. They live on the main floor. It's got a basement and an upstairs, and the fire broke out of the peak where we believe that squirrels or woodpeckers must have nested around the chimney and put flammable material around the chimney, and it caught fire. The good news is somebody went by here, got them out of bed, got them out. The fire department came and put the fire out. So, Dad, what do you have to say about the experience? We're going to talk about the house a little bit and what's happening now.
As far as the experience for the fire, it's dramatic. I heard a noise upstairs or someplace, and I didn't know what it was. It was very, very peculiar. I lay there a little while wondering what that noise was, and then some more noise came in. Then somebody knocked at the door, and then he knocked really hard, and I said, "I'm coming," really hard, loud, and I went to the door, and he said, "Your house on fire." So I quickly went out and said, "Come on, I'll show you." And I couldn't believe my eyes. The flame was shooting, I'd say probably 5 or 6 feet higher than the peak of the house. So I went in quickly, and I ran upstairs, and the fire was in a little smaller bedroom. And when I opened the door, there was suction there. I couldn't figure out why the suction. And then it sounded like a freight train or something. That fire was just blazing. And when I got some oxygen, so I ran downstairs and told my wife, "You got to get out of the house quickly with the house on fire." And so I went out to get a fire extinguisher, and he quenched the fire with the fire extinguisher. And then we went down, and I saw my wife wasn't up yet. I couldn't have get her awake to get up. She was overtaken with no oxygen. In a few minutes, she would have been out of it. I had to actually lead her outside because she wasn't herself anyhow.
Incoherent, almost not. It could have been a disaster, a terrible thing for our parents, obviously. So we're very thankful that they got out in time. It was about 7 in the morning. I was with my family in Spokane. We weren't home, and we were actually traveling. And my son Jalon, who works over here at the Meadowlark Log Homes facility, he runs the log home assembly. The guys, they get here about 6 in the morning. They work with lights, so they got here early, and they were here a little while, and he called me. It was about 7 in the morning, and he said, "Grandpa's house is on fire." I said, "You got to run over there quick, get him out of the house, call 911, and he hung up, and we were praying. We didn't know what's happening. We're not home, and they called the fire department. We have a really strong fire department here. They came quickly, and they put a lot of water into the house from the top in, and then from the inside, and so there's water damage. So we'll talk about that. So what happened is we thought maybe the house is condemned, but because the log walls are sound, and it took a while to catch fire. The beams took quite a while to catch fire. The lumber went more quickly, but they got it out in time, and the loft floor and the main floor is condemned. We got to tear the interior walls out, both floors out, and the roof has got to be replaced completely because the water ran into the roof cavity. So you can see that was Joseph up there. He's getting some measurements, and we have plans to get this house, the roof taken off, the floors taken off, and rebuilt. While we're at it, we'll give it new stain coat. There's a couple windows need replacing, a few things like that. We'll refresh it, have it nice, new floors in there for our parents. So hopefully in a few months, we'll be able to move them back in. And we'll get some video as we go along as we're working on it. We're standing here in the yard. We're going to go over to my house. We're fortunate to have a separate apartment in the back of our house. It has a bedroom and a bathroom, washer, dryer, kitchen, everything's comfortable. They're staying there. So they have their own place as long as they need it in our house. So we'll take a look around the yard. Today is a beautiful day. They're pressure washing out in the Meadowlark Log Homes log yard. Over in that direction, they're building a log house. And then over here, we're putting a new septic system in for the expanded store. But let's walk around here and just get a view around this house. there's not that much to see. The only damage you can see from outside is just the peak, which is tarped, so the rain doesn't go in there until we get it repaired. On this end, this is the entrance. We definitely have to replace a window there, it's broken. We're thinking about redoing this front end something like a porch, the full length here. Probably the full width of the house here with a roof cover over it maybe. And a better entry system for Mom's getting hard to go up these steps here. We might even raise the ground here, something where it's kind of flat going in. So this will probably look different when we're done. That's kind of what we've been talking about. So look forward to seeing you as this project begins to take shape here. But just know this: our parents they're both 85, both healthy. They're up and around. They're not suffering anything. They definitely don't have any COVID-19, none of that stuff. They're healthy and all taken care of. So no worries. No one worry about us. We're taken care of. We got the resources and the help and the manpower, woman power needed to get this all fixed up, so no one's got to worry about it. So we came over from my dad's house, which is that way about 200 yards, and this is our house, our family's house here, the north entrance. And our house is quite large because, well, we had 6 children, but this room here used to be a cement floor, a concrete floor, large room. It was our wash room. We had to have an area to have the Maytag wash machine and laundry tubs, and we had strings to dry the laundry and a wood stove. So that's why this room is pretty big. That was strictly our laundry room. That's where all the clothes got washed. We didn't have washers and dryers. They just take a small area. You had to have an area for tubs and washers and lines in the wintertime to dry the clothes. So some years back, we closed that off. We got electricity, got a washer dryer, and made this into a separate room for guests. There's a nice bathroom, bedroom, and living area, and that's where my parents are staying in. And it's separated from the other part of our house. It's roomy, so we'll go in here and see what Mom is doing. She was on a quilt that she was making for our auction, which was going to be May 16th, which is now canceled because of the coronavirus, but we're still going to have an auction with some of the things that have been prepared for it, but it'll be an online auction. We'll get to that a little later. Let's go inside and take a peek at the house, the place they're staying at now, and meet my mom and see the quilt that she's making. She made it from, I guess, from scratch. She sews it all together.
No.
Oh, she gets pieces made or gets a quilt top, then she sews it. So she gets a quilt top and then she does all the hand stitching. So this is, if you look down, this was the ground floor where the concrete was at, it was lower than the other part of the house, where we could put the laundry items. But this is, now we raised this up with a wooden floor, and this is the circle sawn Douglas fir flooring. And so it's comfortable and it's warm. I have a stove they can use, but it does have a heater.
Where's the lights?
And here's Mom, my mom Orpha, and she is stitching this quilt. And she knows how to do it. And I have no idea how she does it, but she got her, what do you got, little needles and thumb, what do you call it, thumb,
Thimble.
yeah.
Thimble, that's my
I can only think of the German word, which is a Daumenhut, which means a thumb hat. And so,
See, Orpha's been making these quilts ever since we had our first auction way back in
about
This is
1981, 82,
The sixth
80,
one. They're always different.
yeah. It was like 1983 was the first one.
somewhere in there, yeah.
83, 84 was our first auction.
Anyhow, we had,
It's 100 inches, about 110 inches long and 80 inches wide or something like that.
anyhow, they were saying she's been quilting for many years. Her quilts always topped the auction. Even the first one, it brought the most money. The last one brought $1,600.
She was preparing this one for the 2020 auction, which has now been canceled. So we're going to figure out something for our viewers, people to actually bid on this quilt. So there'll be a link below this video or on our website how to actually buy this quilt that my mom is making, because the main auction has been canceled or postponed until a later date. So this is where they're staying, and they're well taken care of while their house is being rebuilt by the fire. And our family lives across the wall that way. So we'll have to do a tour of our house later. So, okay, well, take it easy, Mom. Don't work too hard.